My name's Tom Grawi. I'm a fourth year medical student at CCOM. I'm the National Director of Pre SOMA. This is Devangi Patel. She's the Junior Pre SOMA Director. She's a third year at the Rowan School in New Jersey. So we're here today to talk about a little project that SOMA's had for a while now called Pre SOMA. It's definitely our fastest growing initiative in SOMA. Just to show you how fast it's growing, last year we only had one Pre SOMA director, and this year we have two. All right. So so I know that doesn't really tell you a lot, but it's showing that something that used to be a one person's job that they could maybe manage by themselves has evolved into something that me and Devangi both do, and we're assembling a committee, and we have representatives at a lot of schools that kind of help out with us as well. So it's really taking off. Who's heard of Pre SOMA before? Yeah, so a lot of you guys have even heard of it and maybe seen some stuff that Pre SOMA's done around campus. So what is Pre SOMA? So Pre SOMA it's pre-medical SOMA, pretty straightforward, right? It's a way that we can educate a lot of those that are interested in medicine about osteopathic philosophy. And basically what we really use it as is it's the link to the osteopathic family for pre-medical students. That's one thing that really got me into osteopathic medicine and that I learned about a lot at CCOM was how important the family is in osteopathic medicine. And you know, medicine is a mentorship through and through, and especially when you get into your third and fourth year and you guys realize that you're learning from residents. Residents are teaching students or learning from attendings. So really what we're doing with Pre SOMA is we're extending this one level lower into pre-medical students. We're saying just because you're not in medical school yet doesn't mean that you can't be a part of our family. And this is how we approach everything that we do with pre-meds, and so far it's been very receptive. We have pre-meds that came to our conference last year. Usually we have one or two that show up. Last time in DC we had 6, and they had such a good time that 5 of the 6 are returned to this conference. The 6th person only didn't come because he's applying to school right now and couldn't afford it with his application fees, which I'm sure you guys all remember quite too well. So it's just kind of showing you, and now we have about 40 pre-meds registered for our convention this fall. So it's really taken off quickly. All right, so like I said, we're talking about turning, this continuum of medicine, having pre-meds who are apprentices and making them become future mentors to other pre-meds, and then when they're physicians to medical students, and so on and so forth. Okay, we like to promote and teach by example. Instead of just sending emails and saying, hey, this is what we do, this is what DOs are, we like to invite them to our activities, and we're going to talk about some of that as we go on. All right, and instead of just telling people what osteopathic medicine is, like I said, we want to show them. So these are some ways that we show pre-meds what osteopathic medicine is, instead of just lecturing them. Okay, we host our national events, I'll talk about a couple of those. We will encourage you guys to all invite pre-meds to your campus. We've been telling all of our SOMA chapters that if you guys are having events, that you should call up local colleges and be like, hey, we're having this SOMA meeting, we're getting together for dinner, we're doing this, you guys should all come. And that's something that you guys can even do as COSGP, say, our class is having this event, I know you're interested in osteopathic medicine at your school, why don't you come out to our event and get to know us a little better? All right, and this is really fostered by building relationships with the colleges in your area and hitting up alumni network. That's another big thing that we emphasize. Your first year medical students, a lot of them just graduated from college, and they were probably leaders in some of the pre-health organizations at their schools. And they probably know the current leadership there, and it's very easy for them to shoot them an email and say, hey, can I come, talk about where I go to school, or share some information with you about what osteopathic medicine is. That's a good way to get that networking rolling, and then say, hey, why don't you guys come out to my school? So think about all these things that you guys can do, working in your area and with schools that you guys are already connected to. All right, the other thing that we're doing is we're starting to attend pre-med recruitment events, and we'll talk about that. And we're also working very closely with ACOM to help promote some of their multi-com events, and also to have them help promote our events. Like, they send an email out to all the current applicants to osteopathic medical school about our convention and about the Pre SOMA event that we have going on this afternoon. So how we represent our profession as National SOMA is really with helping you guys and with some events that we put on. So today we have our Pre SOMA meet and greet. and I'll get to that in 1 second. And we also have these on-campus events that we started up last year, and we're continuing them more as we go on. We have one coming up next weekend at UN Econ. Basically what these are is it's a whole day where we talk about Pre SOMA, we talk about osteopathic medicine, and we also invite the admissions directors from all the colleges of osteopathic medicine to come out and host some tables and recruit, help recruit for their schools and for our profession. We have another one coming up in Pecan, Georgia at the end of October, October 26th. We're also in the early stages of working on one at ASCOM in Arizona. We're just this weekend starting to talk about planning one in Chicago for probably next fall, next October, which should be a good event. And we have some other ones in some other areas that we're kind of working on. All right. We also represent osteopathic medicine at larger events. This year we're hosting a table at the UC Davis Pre-Health Conference, which is coming up later on this month. That conference is one of the biggest ones in the country and attracts over 5,000 pre-meds. So that's huge for us. So we're really excited to get to be a part of that this year, where we'll be hosting a table and we'll be participating on some of the student panels to talk about what osteopathic medicine is. So in terms of what we can do, our meet and greet is today from 3 to 5 p.m. It's in Islander C, and you guys are all invited to come and mingle with the pre-med events, with the pre-meds that'll be there. So what it basically is it's this little 2-hour fair where we have 20 campuses of osteopathic medicine that will be represented through some various tables. So the students will be able to walk around and talk to the admission directors and hopefully a lot of the students from the schools that are kind of hanging around the event. In addition, we have a brief lecture on what is osteopathic medicine, and we're also going to have a brief OMM demonstration. So this is going on from 3 to 5. Please come. If you happen to bring your white coat to this weekend for some reason, definitely wear it to help stand out as a medical student. All right. There are some other ways that we help you represent our profession. We have a PowerPoint that we made up that's all about what is a DO, what is osteopathic medicine. All the slides and then the notes, basically the whole thing's written out. Okay, it's very easy for you guys to all give. We sent it to Danny and some of your leadership, so maybe you guys have had that or they'll send it your way soon. In addition, we have brochures that kind of talk about what is Pre SOMA, that kind of supplements some of the AOA brochures on like what is a DO and what is OMM. Also networking. So basically we have all the ties to the pre-meds because they come to us. So they say, oh, I'm really interested in MSUCOM, for example. Then we can say, all right, well, I know a student at MSUCOM that I can fix you up with. And same thing if you come to us and say, oh, well, I live around Chicago, for example, and I really want to reach out to pre-meds in the Chicago area. We have connections with some pre-health through ACOM with all the pre-health advisors at the undergraduate colleges. We also, obviously do know some pre-meds around. So we're basically a good way for you to help make connections, in addition to, working with places you graduated from and places that are in your area. And really, we're here for anything else that we can get to you to make your interactions with pre-meds a lot easier. All right, so if there's something that you guys say, we really wish that we could have this, let us know, and it's our job to kind of help produce these, handouts and brochures and whatever else, you might be interested in, okay? So basically, Devangi's going to talk a little bit now about some ways that you can start promoting Pre SOMA and, just interacting with pre-meds on campus.
Hi. So I'm Devangi. My role as the junior director is really to push events that facilitate mentoring for 2 reasons. One, they really need them. They have a lot of questions about is medicine right for them? What do I do? Should I take a year off? These are simple questions that we're probably the best ones that can help answer. So the events that I try to put together facilitate that face-to-face. So they have somebody to go to when they have these questions. Admissions are hard to reach sometimes. They have to give slightly generic type answers. So you guys are really on the forefront. So one of the best ways that you can start actually is by hosting the students on your campus. I think, how do I get there? That's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. One of the best ways is to invite them onto your campus. And I am in the process of creating a document for a uniform nationwide program for a Shadow a DO student for a day. They need to see the culture. They need to see the classes. They want to feel the aura of what osteopathic medicine feels like. And it really excites them. They love it. It helps answer their questions. It's easy enough to do. You really just need like a Google document. Sign everybody up. You reach out to your Pre SOMA chapters. We can help with that. Reach out to the pre-med advisors there or the pre-health organizations and just invite them and say, you know what, we have a bunch of students that are willing to take you around cadaver labs. The OMM labs are really important to take them through. And then you just sit down and talk with them and see what their concerns are. And it's very easy, and it really helps facilitate that whole idea of us welcoming them into our family, saying, you know what, we want you to apply. We want you to get into medical school. So I'll have that all written up in a nice, easy to do format, exact step by step, so you can implement it alongside with your SOMA chapters. This is a great joint program. The more students you have involved at your school, the more students you can host. It'll probably be like a day long. What we do at Rowan is it's usually a day long. They follow the students around in the classrooms, and then in the afternoon we have our admissions director kind of talk to them about the process and what they look for at that school. So it's one day, but it makes a huge impact on the students, and it allows them to get your email addresses directly so they have somebody to talk to. Okay? So these are our email addresses. Please feel free to reach out. If you have pre-meds in the area that are reaching out to you and you think maybe we can help, forward them our emails. Please like our Facebook page. We put up a lot of pertinent information about our community service drives, our events that we're hosting. We try to facilitate conversations about questions to make sure that they're public and that we are disseminating the appropriate information about what osteopathic medicine is, what is OMT, what are the real differences in the application process and things like that. And we also tweet, so follow us and we'll follow you back. Any questions about maybe how you can get involved, or any hiccups that prevent you from reaching out to pre-meds?
Austin Moore from OUHCOM. Have you ever thought about using Student Doctor Network as an advertising tool for this?
So Student Doctor was created by DOs. What's happened, though, it's become too large. It's not organized, and it's because it's students answering, but it's all kinds of students answering. Really, we want to control the message about what osteopathic medicine is. So we really want it to come from us. And there is no substitute for the face-to-face mentorship that happens when you get them on campus and you talk to them. It helps breed us as better leaders, and it's a service.
Joe Brandt from West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. My question is kind of regarding, it sounds like there's a lot of great things that are in place for regions that have osteopathic medical schools. What kind of things are you doing, or can we do to get some of this information disseminated out to regions where, you know, an awareness of osteopathic profession is not so prevalent?
Sure. So one of the issues we have, particularly in the Midwest and the Western Coast, is the large distances between the schools and the universities and colleges. And I think that this year, if you are interested, please let us know. We want to try to teleconferencing type thing. Because the universities do have pre-health professions, clubs and organizations, and we, through Gina's help, have access to them or the pre-health advisors. And we kind of want to set up like a Google Hangout. And what's cool about that is we can get students from all different schools. So these students are getting perspectives and answers from representatives of different osteopathic schools in the area or in the country. And it's a really great way to advertise the profession.
Can I just the other thing. The other thing with that too that we're just starting to work on is, and this is more so for post-grads that don't have like a college that they work with, is like regional Pre SOMA chapters. Because we do get people that say, hey, I'm not really in school anymore, but I'm applying to, to DO school, like where can I get some like local events, see some guest speakers. So these are kind of things that a new project that we kind of just started talking about actually like this week. So you'll hopefully see a lot more of that coming around this year.
Hi there, Tyler Simon. I'm the COSGP advisor, and back in '97 when Pre SOMA was started, I was the SOMA advisor. And when we started, there were a couple things. We started with the SOMA Foundation to send the SOMA board back to their schools to talk about what it is to be a DO, and also to deal with the issue that students were having getting a letter from a DO to apply to osteopathic medical school. Is the letter still included in part of what you're doing, or is that separate?
So that's a great question because I get this all the time, and I really need your guys' help on this issue. We have students that reach out to us directly saying, I need a DO in the area to shadow. The AOA mentor program was set up for current medical students to find a mentor in the area. It wasn't set up for pre-meds. So what we really need is your help in we have to kind of reach out to the alumni affairs at your schools. We have to find volunteers in the area that are willing to host pre-meds. And we kind of have to be careful about what kind of DOs these are. So that's why we don't advertise to every DO and say, hey, do you want to host a pre-med? We really want your recommendations on a strong professional in the community that really embodies the philosophy so these students are getting the right exposure. But yeah, because now the DO letter is really strongly recommended. We have a lot of these pre-meds who are in areas of, I would say, dearth.
I don't know what it is.
It's like a lack of DOs, and it's sad because I have no one to refer them to. I don't know who to refer them to, and we're reaching out to the state associations now to kind of create a database. But again, that's something that's just starting.
Sorry. Yeah, just like Devangi said, that is the most common question that we get, and I don't know I don't know DOs in areas of the country that aren't by me, and even so really that's everything she said. Talk to your schools, talk to your alumni, or your alumni organizations and your state organizations, and say what can we do to get a list of people who will take pre-medical students. Because yeah.
Any other questions? Problems, difficulties, anything that we didn't address that maybe we should be looking into? Okay, well, you have our email address. Like us on Facebook, follow our tweets, retweet me, please, and favorite my tweets. And thank you so much for your time.